So we have the first ever conversation series episode. A little different. We're in a different place, and we figured we'd kick it off with none other than our very own Pastor Clark and Sally. I know them by a slightly different name, Mom and Dad. Thanks for talking with us.
Well, I've been talking with you for about 40 years, so I mean, it's not new, but
But now I'm listening.
but now finally you're listening. Well, I'll never forget the time when I went on when you were a cop. I went on that first ride along with you.
Yes.
And we walked through the police station. I filled out all the paperwork and checked all the boxes. We got back to the squad car, and you had a clipboard, and you were saying, "Okay, Dad, now before you get in the car, I got to go over a few things with you." You said, "When we pull over, you got to stay in the car. You have to do exactly as I tell you. You have to do you listed a bunch of stuff, and I thought it was very serious. I'm going, okay, yes, okay, and then you go, I've been waiting a long time to say that.
I was just gonna say, that made his whole life in that moment.
Yeah,
It was hilarious.
That was not an official checklist. I made that.
Well, in retrospect, I realize that now.
No, that was a good time. That was a good.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Good ride along.
You went on a couple ride-alongs with me, didn't you?
I think it was one.
Just the one?
Yeah, scared me to death. I'm not going again.
I don't need to drive with you that much.
No, I don't even like driving with Jeff that much.
I'm a professional.
I know, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So Jeff brought up that he wanted to do it here at the house because
Yeah.
this is where you guys first started off having Bible studies.
This is true.
This is where the Bible study started, Matthew 1:1, right here in this very living room.
Yeah.
Which is why the first and earliest recording when we got to the building was like Matthew 17 or something like that.
Something.
Because the
Something like
Bible
that.
study started,
Yeah.
and then you just
It
kept
was
going.
18. I think it was Matthew 18, now that I think about it.
Yes.
Or, yes.
I don't remember exactly what chapter it was, but I do remember it was talking about divorces.
Yeah,
and,
that was-
and you
yeah.
were a little stressed out because you
Yes.
said, "Great,
Yeah, our
the
first
first Sunday service as a church, and we're talking about God hates divorce."
Yeah, I recall that. It was a heavy Sunday for me to start off. But we had a good time. We had two young boys, you and your brother Brad, and we were living here at the place, at our property, and we still had our company going in Orange County. The construction company was going, and you guys were doing music and football and you name it, you guys were doing it. A lot of fun, and we were busy at the church here locally. We were still driving back to Costa Mesa, Calvary Chapel with Chuck, and because Sally, when we lived in Orange County, we went to Calvary Costa Mesa for many years. Sally got saved there in 1976, and we started going to church there, and we subsequently started teaching Sunday school because we were thrust into it. I don't know if you know the story or
I
not.
don't.
Well,
We don't need to get carried away
We
in
do.
the
I
details.
need to know. Well, now.
when Jeffrey James was a very young boy, Pastor Chuck dedicated him, and it was a real blessing. So he was in Sunday school classroom, and after church, when Pastor Chuck finished up, we came out. We were going to get Jeff out of Sunday school, and we hear this screaming and crying, and we thought, that's Jeff. And
I was boiling.
we get to the front. We get to the
What
door.
are they doing to my baby?
Yeah, we thought, what in the world? And the poor teacher, she goes, Mrs. Van Wyck, we're sorry, Jeffrey James can't come to Sunday school anymore. We said, no, why? He bit another child. We said, you're kidding.
Yeah.
He bit another child?
There's that.
Because we knew he was a biter. He bit everything and everyone in sight. And and he was in a cage. They had cribs that were stacked. And the front of the crib opened, and you put the child in and you shut it. They were cages,
stacked
like
It was a
animal
safety
cages.
system.
all the way up to the ceiling.
They were the best things ever. And Jeff almost chewed through one of the bars. He almost was out. And so, so we became Sunday school teachers just so we can keep our kids in class. And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, it was a blessing.
It was a great blessing. There was no calling. There was no,
Yeah.
lightning bolt from God. No Clark. It was like, no, you can't bring him into class anymore.
He was your lightning bolt, basically.
Yeah.
So God used Jeff in a big way to get the ball rolling. Actually,
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm hearing is you're welcome.
Okay, and then how long were you guys in the children's ministry?
for years and years and years till we moved out here.
We were there for
What, 4 or
I
5
think-
years?
No, 8 years total, and we moved out here, and we were still driving back and forth, but not teaching or anything. And then we were going to a church out here for a while, and then one day out of the blue, we got some phone calls.
all on the same day. We had 4 or 5 people separately call us, and they said, "Clark, if you would teach a home Bible study, we would love to come."
Oh.
And we were like, Well, backing it up, the day before that, you told me that you just wanted to be teaching the Word. You loved
Yeah, I
to
missed
teach the
teaching
Word.
Sunday school. It was fun. We were
Because I
studying
just would
all the
love
time.
to teach the Word. And so I said, well, so teach us. You've got 3 people you can teach, the boys and I. And so you go, yeah, we should probably start doing that. And then the next day,
The next day.
3 or 4 people that didn't know each other were calling. We didn't know they were going to call. They all said the same thing. If you would teach a Bible study, we would love to come. And then Steve called and said, if you would teach a Bible study, I'll lead worship for you.
I feel like you're missing a step though, because you were already pretty involved at the church here in town. You were an usher.
We were doing
You were doing
announcements.
announcements
I was
every
doing-
week for
yeah.
every service.
He was an elder.
Yeah.
There's an elder and doing announcements. So we were pretty involved there for quite a while, yeah.
What is an elder?
Just like an usher,
Oh, okay.
but maybe one step up.
Oh,
A
fancy
fancy
usher.
usher.
Fancy usher.
An usher with a title.
Ooh, la la.
maybe
But
we should
yeah.
start bringing in elders. No,
And
no
then
elders here.
we started going back to Costa Mesa because it was our home.
Sure.
And it just was time. And the
'Cause-
neat thing is my sister and her family lived there, so your cousins were there. So we would drive back to Costa Mesa, go to church, felt like home, sitting under Pastor Chuck again. And then we would go over to Stace and Dan's and have lunch and let you guys play in the pool. It turned into a whole family day on Sunday, which was really fun. It made
Super
it worth
fun.
it. Yeah.
And it was during that time period that I got in a little trouble at Costa Mesa in the parking lot, right? Because we were out here in Temecula in the 80s, living in the middle of nowhere. When you're playing outside in the dirt and mud,
That was
And
when
you
we
gotta
first
go-
moved out here.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you got to go pee and you're a
just
boy
go
and
where
you're in
you
the
go.
country and there's no neighbors for
Yeah.
miles
That's
and you're
what trees
muddy
are
and
for.
covered in dirt
Yeah.
and yeah, you just go on the tree.
And
So you
Grandpa was pretty proper, and he was pretty horrified.
Your
when-
dad.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad.
Oh, yeah.
When he turned around and in the parking lot at Calvary Costa Mesa, you just walked
Jeff's
up
going
to a
potty.
tree and put your pants down around your ankles. And Grandpa Wayne just about had a heart attack.
Yeah, which was his second heart attack. But yeah. So
He survived both, by the way,
yeah,
just to clarify for the audience.
yeah. So yeah, I do remember that.
So you guys
Yeah.
got kicked out because you're peeing in
No,
we
nobody
just
saw
horrified
me.
my dad.
Nobody knew.
until now.
Well, the
was
people that
funny.
walked by
Well,
and
you
saw
know, when
it.
you're out in the country,
Yeah.
you're in the country. What are you going to do?
It was the 80s.
Right out of the 70s.
There were
Yeah.
cameras
the
in
60s.
60s. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then you started your home.
So we all met here in the living room. There
Okay.
was 12 of us for the very first home Bible study. There were
Yep.
12 of us. Several have passed away now.
Yeah, Nicopolis and
Yep, the Pacopolis, your mom and dad, and then the couple that moved up north,
Gene and Dave Powell.
Gene
that's
and
right.
Dave Powell. They
Yeah.
passed, and but Jeff and Sean Glahn,
They're still around.
they're
every
still
week.
coming to the church.
He's a sound guy, computer guy, so he sat here with a little tape recorder and taped
I
the
remember
very
that.
first Bible study all the
That's
way
pretty
through
cool.
until.
Yeah, he was doing quite
Yeah.
a bit of that. Jeff and Sean
Yeah,
Glahn.
he's always been a blessing.
Yeah.
And Charlie
huge
and Gail
blessing.
were here too,
Yep.
right?
Charlie and Gail were here. He's still they're still alive and at the church.
Gail and Charlie were a blessing. Gail she would come, and we had as soon as the Bible study started, we got the women, the wives of everybody that was here, and we would get together for prayer on Friday morning. We would come and we would have coffee and pray for the needs of our families, and so we started that out with prayer, and that was a real blessing for the ladies.
The genesis of the women's
Yeah.
ministry.
And it was pretty
Yeah.
funny because Gail is an off-roader, and
Oh, yeah.
she had that crazy, what was it, a Suburban?
Giant Suburban.
Big, giant
And it was
Suburban.
all,
4-wheel drive, giant
crazy.
tires.
and out here the dirt roads would get pretty slippery, and so I could hear her screaming from all the way down the hill, and she would load all the women in her Suburban and come up that hill. It was hysterical.
It was funny.
That was a good memory.
This
And
is
they still do the off-roading.
Yeah,
Gail
they
and
do.
Charlie.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still
They
go
do.
jeeping.
we still go
and all that.
jeeping.
Yeah.
Charlie and I still go jeeping together after 30
Jason
years.
and Kristen Harbert are and really involved in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is their daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the rains, we lived on dirt roads back then, and it was impossible. If you didn't have big 4-wheel drive, you couldn't get in and out of here. It was quite a journey. And so we were thinking, well, I guess we are going to have to just, stop the Bible study. And there was a gal who was coming, Ciccarelli, Ann Ciccarelli. She was managing an apartment complex here in town, and she said that we can meet in their rec room. They have a kitchen, family room that,
Big
in the middle of the
fireplace, really pretty.
apartment complex. Fireplace, kitchen, everything. And we said, wow, super duper. So we started meeting over there, and she was able to open up some of the apartments
That were vacant.
for children's ministry.
Oh, wow.
And then pretty soon we had there was 75 people coming.
Yeah, there
And
was
they
a lot
had
of people.
a big piano in there, from what I
Yep.
remember, and
Yep.
brother would play the
Yeah,
piano.
Brad
and
was
then
playing
We
the
would be
piano.
baking
You were
cookies
doing
the
drums.
hand drum
and-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Brad were doing a lot of music
Yeah,
at that point.
because-
You guys were very talented. You on
This
the
was
drums.
still just a home Bible study, but just
Yeah.
at an apartment complex.
Correct. And so we were there 6 months, maybe. No,
3, I thought.
maybe 3 months. 3 months here, 3 months here, 6 months total. And then a group of people there at the Bible study, they approached me and they said, "Hey, we want to meet on a different day." And I said, "Okay, no problem." I said, "What day?" They said, "Sunday." I go, "Well, Sunday night's no good because we got to get up early for Monday for work, and
And you were getting up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, he was running a lot of construction
I had
jobs.
big projects all over Nature's Half Acres. Believe me, it was like crazy. I was going to Redlands and Walnut out in L.A. Then I get a
Newport.
phone call and they said, "Hey, while you're out, swing by Newport Beach." Okay,
Yes, you're on
from
the
Redlands
road.
to L.A. to Newport, and then back out to here. Anyway, a lot of fun. And so, I said, "Well, Sunday night's no good." They said, "No, you don't understand. We want to meet on Sunday morning." I thought,
Well, that doesn't work. We go to church then.
yeah, you guys are crazy. You know what you're asking?
Yeah.
And
They said, yeah, we're learning more from your teaching, and we're growing more than we are at our churches. And they went to different churches.
Wow.
And it was pretty humbling.
so I talked to Pastor Chuck because he's still our pastor in Orange County.
He told Chuck, these people are crazy.
Crazy. They've lost their mind.
They want me to teach.
They want to meet on Sunday mornings. I go,
Yeah.
and he, go for it, And I said, well, we don't have anywhere to meet. He said, well, why don't you take these 2 buildings at the hot springs?
Oh, wow.
I said, well, we don't have any chairs. And he goes, no, we've got a lot of chairs. and I
I
said
don't
2.
have a pulpit.
Yeah, I said 2 or 3 more things, and he kind of, and he goes like, anything else? What's your excuse
He's like, those
now?
are easy fixes. Like,
For
really?
Pastor Chuck, those were quick, easy fixes. And so I said, okay. So we went over there and started working like crazy. Remember, Jeff? We were cleaning and working and getting it all fixed up. Those 2 buildings that were kind of, storage areas. And,
Well, and the amazing thing is Pastor Chuck and the Calvary Chapel movement has an affiliation process. At that time, I don't know what it is today, but there was an affiliation process that you had to go through, and it was like 6 months to a year of kind of like our distinctives thing, where you had to write reports on books, you had to listen to the Chuck series teaching, you know. So it was pretty crazy because he offered the building and the chairs, and he was just mow the grass and get it up, do whatever you
Do
want.
whatever you want.
And then the next day or the next week or whatever, we get this letter in the mail, all
Calvary
official,
Costa Mesa.
with
Thinking,
Chuck Smith's signature as "Welcome to the Calvary Chapel family. You are affiliated." We're like,
cool.
what?
What?
But you know, Chuck knew us from Costa Mesa, and we were told that there was a little bit of regret that a lot of churches came about from like grandchildren that never sat under the teaching at Costa Mesa, that he wasn't able to pass on the vision to some of the Calvary chapels.
Yeah.
And he knew that we did.
Well, Chuck baptized me there in Pirates Cove. He dedicated both our kids. We taught Sunday school for there.
He
It's
knew
not
our
like we were
family.
good friends,
Right.
but he knew we were at the church.
He knew us.
He knew
And
us.
when he bought the hot springs to move the Bible college, you were,
Yes.
because your construction background.
He was
and
down there every weekend.
every opportunity. I have a scar on my arm from moving rocks around in the little hot springs pool because all the sulfur and the different chemicals
Brad
and
got
stuff.
a word on his toe, remember, from the
I
pond?
don't. I don't remember that. I just remember my scar.
Well, now it's like the whole hot tubs thing. So maybe you shouldn't.
Let's not talk
That's
about
not
that.
talking about that. But he knew that you guys were dedicated because he saw the love of that you had for Jesus, and he saw the dedication you had. Because rumor has it, you used to have tapes going nonstop in your car from construction site to construction site. You had the Bible on the right hand side of your car the whole time, so you're always in the Word. You weren't just like, oh, I'm going to start a church one day. You were always.
I never wanted to start a church.
He
I never wanted to be a pastor.
He clearly has the gift of teaching, and that was evident from the very first time that he filled in at the pulpit. But
It was fun. I
Pastor
enjoyed
Chuck was just so sweet. He was
Yeah.
he supported us. He was encouraging to us,
Super.
and he was
Because
it
like
was
you say,
special.
Jeff, I saw him all the time at the hospital. We worked together side by side. In fact, Pastor Chuck and I framed the administration building together. Yeah, we were framing big balloon walls, him and I. And when we had the walls, there was one particular wall that cantilevered off the slab. It was a big, tall balloon wall. And I was down below holding the freeze blocks up between the studs, and he was hammering the nails in. And you know, when you hit the nail with a hammer, it's tink, tink, tink.
Yeah.
It went tink, tink, thud. And he hit my thumb. And he laughed. He goes, oh, was that your thumb? And I go, yes, it was.
It was.
And to this
He has
very
a Chuck
day,
ridge on his
to this very day, it's crushed my thumb and it grows out crushed. Oh, yes. And every time I feel that thumb, I think, Chuck. It reminds me of him. It's a good reminder.
that was a blessing
It
to
is.
go help
It's a good
him.
memory.
Yeah.
I miss him.
Yeah.
So the Bible study, moved to the hot springs, and we started meeting on Sunday. And Pastor Chuck, take these buildings; they're yours. We thought, oh, praise God! And
Tennis
we were going
club.
big guns. We still had our company in Orange County. The boys were still doing
You had
band.
8 job sites going at that time.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
remind
so
me.
you weren't sleeping at all.
And I had a desk right next to the bed.
Yeah, in our
We
bedroom.
turned the bedroom into half office. So I would roll over in the morning and go to
Well,
work
right
with
to work.
the incorporation and getting documents and talking to the attorney and then fielding like people that were sick. The Bacopoulos' grandchild was born with a hole in her
That's
heart.
right.
and
That's right.
We
That
would
was
drive to
30
San
years ago.
Clemente, and
Yeah.
I mean, I would schedule all of his appointments while he was at work all day. And when he would get home, we would hit the road and go take care of that stuff. It was busy time.
It was busy. It was a
busy
good time.
Something that stands out to me that I think speaks volumes of you guys is I don't remember you guys not being around. In fact, just the opposite. I remember you coming home and immediately putting your nail bags down and then grabbing me and my brother and rolling around and starting to wrestle, and
Highlight of my day.
we felt your presence and we felt your love regardless of what else was happening. Your family always felt like it was your first ministry. So
That was important to us. That was important.
Yeah, because though we were called and we knew that we were, that didn't necessarily mean that you guys were called. And we asked your permission. I don't know if you remember that before the church started, to make sure that you guys were not opposed to that it would be changing things a little bit. And you guys both were on board at the time.
I do remember that, and I remember we were in the red truck, and
that
we were
red
driving on Margarita Road, and you had mentioned, you said, "Oh, I got a new boss." I thought, okay, I don't care who your boss is, and nothing. So you're like, "Yeah, he's a Jewish carpenter." I said, "Okay, I don't know why his ethnicity matters." and then you were like, "Get it?" And I realized, oh, Jesus, okay.
Yeah.
A little slow on the uptake.
It was fun, and you guys were so busy doing music,
Oh, it
and
was
you guys
fun.
were cutting CDs and
Oh, yeah.
playing concerts, and
Yeah.
at the hot springs. Remember, there was like 5,000 people that were coming to these concerts we were hosting at the hot springs. Pastor Chuck let us use it, and because we wanted to do an outreach, and he goes, "Sure, go ahead." And all of a sudden, I mean, there was
It
5,000
was
people
scary.
coming.
Was that Switchfoot?
Skillet,
Skillet,
Switchfoot.
Well, the last one that we did was huge.
You guys opened for a lot of those.
People
Christian
parked
bands.
like a mile
Yeah.
around the hot springs,
Yeah.
and
It
we
was a
just
big
looked at
deal.
each other because it was just us and our usher team. We looked at each other and said, "If these people get out of line, what are we going to do?
It's like my
This
babies.
is scary."
Yeah, we had a big stage, food vendors, and everything. It was a big
Oh
deal.
my
But there was just so many people
So
that
many
it
people.
was scary.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'd be terrified. Sally, how did you feel? Like your husband is now a pastor, and like all these people are coming, your kids are involved, and you're like rolling out of bed and doing all the paperwork. But you got involved in ministry as well.
Yeah, as soon as we got to the hot springs, we started with women's Bible study and women's prayer. So the kids were in school, and I did Bible study. We started with precepts, and then I had the prayer meeting went from the house to the building. So we had a full women's ministry going the minute we moved out of the house. Well, even when we were here, but
But you know,
The Bible
interestingly
study.
enough, all this stuff we were already doing basically.
yeah, just
We were already doing it,
yeah.
just regular life.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it was our life.
Right.
People got sick, we went and saw them and prayed for them, and
And
Yeah.
studying, I was studying and learning. And so then I just moved it to the church and said, "You guys want to do this with me?"
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it
same
just
thing with me. I
pretty
was
much
teaching
started.
Sunday school and
You were
every
teaching-
Sunday.
You were teaching us at home. I remember
Yeah,
story
we'd have
time at
story
bedtime.
time at
We
bedtime, yeah.
do the different. You were doing expository verse by verse teaching at bedtime. Not
just-
quite as
you just didn't
sophisticated
have
as
you
it is
take
on
notes.
Sunday. Yeah, there were no outliners or pencil pushers
Not yet.
at story time, but it was pretty highbrow from what I remember.
So it was like a natural progression that God was
Very
putting you guys
natural.
As
in
we
that.
were learning,
Yeah.
we brought people with us
I
on
think
the journey.
a cool example that you guys both you do this at home and with the church is like you guys are both a good example of what the household looks like, and then you also incorporate that to the church. And I thought, like, I've been talking to Jeff a lot about that, and like so much of that is missed now with Christian relationships where you don't see that anymore, but you kind of see it lost in just households. And so you don't get this male figure who's a strong dad, who's a Christian leader, and a supportive wife that's willing to take on these big roles with him and not just say like, well, that's your job, good luck, see you
No.
later. You
Yeah.
have shown over and over in construction that you were helping him do that, and then you were helping him with the church, and like also getting the boys back and forth to all their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Taxi driver.
taxi driver on top of that, which is a nightmare
you
for
know.
me.
You've got two kids.
Exactly.
It was always a privilege for me because
Yeah.
I did have a little bit of a career before I started having kids, but it was a privilege, and I counted it a privilege that I got to stay home with my kids.
Yeah.
I got to be there when they first took their first step and went through all the first, and so it was a privilege. So I would mow the lawns, wash the cars. I would do all the gardening. I would make sure the kids were fed and bathed, and the carpet had stripes in it when Clark walked through the door,
That's
so
good,
that
yeah.
he could come home from such a arduous day.
Yeah.
Construction was hard. It's a hard life.
Yeah.
But he could come home and just let down and play with the boys.
Yeah.
That was my goal.
To have those memories that he
Yeah.
has. Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to see women today when they're like complaining about doing their husband's laundry, or, you know, some of the things that women complain about. It's almost like they've been put on the earth to be served,
Yeah.
rather than we were created to be their helpmate.
Yeah.
Whether you like that or not,
Right.
that's our role.
But we all get to see like how
But we could be a part of it
Yeah.
too.
and how successful you both are in this world together, that you guys are like building up other people, and
And
making
we've seen other couples like where the husband's called but the wife's not, or the wife is, the husband's not,
It's tough.
and that's tough.
It
It just
is.
so happens that God allowed both of us to be on the same page and the same wavelength and
Yeah.
heading down the same road. And
I think it's a picture of Christ in the church. We work together, we're in unity, we support one another, and I appreciate Clark. We talked about this, that he is the leader of the house. He made the decisions, but there's been times when he comes to me and says, "What do you think about?" I'm like, "I don't care. No, I really want your input." I'm like, "Well, I don't really want to give you, I don't care."
I don't want the
But
responsibility.
he doesn't make the decision until he takes, and that's a
Yeah.
strong leader.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a weak leader that is I don't know, what is the word I'm looking
not
for?
willing to receive any input.
Threatened,
They feel threatened, yeah.
by a woman, or threatened by their wife, or things like
I mean-
that. There's no reason for it.
You threaten me once in a while, but I think that's probably a little different. But
But I mean, to support one another, there's no greater privilege, and
Right.
it's fun. It's a
Yeah.
good thing.
I relish her input. I need it. I want it. I respect her opinion and her input. I really do.
Even if you don't always follow it
Absolutely.
every time.
Right.
Because
Just
he doesn't.
A different viewpoint is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's but I like to hear it. I like to get all the. That's why I like in the staff meetings or in the board meetings, get everybody's opinion and hear things from different angles and different viewpoints, because
Important.
there's
Wisdom in a multitude of counsel.
there is wisdom in that, and like you say, Jeff, you might not always take it or act on it, but at least you hear it like, yeah, okay. Thank you for that.
And it's important for the wife that if he doesn't take the advice, it's okay.
Yeah.
You still support the decision, because you know he's the one that's accountable for it. I don't have to answer to God for what he decides to do. There's freedom. There's
Yeah.
total freedom in
Yeah.
letting them take their God-given role.
Yeah.
No pressure, Jeff.
Easy peasy. You mentioned something a bit ago about talking with the attorneys, and then you mentioned the board and all these different things. So, from what I remember, Chuck Smith gave you his attorney to help with that
Yes.
kind of stuff. So the attorney you were
Yes.
talking about was Chuck's attorney,
Yes.
Yes.
and like just another thing. Chuck's like, yeah, you need to start this
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
Here, take this
Oh, he
attorney,
was-
take this building.
And the amazing
What else do you need? Like
thing-
Moses at the burning bush.
Yeah.
Amazing
What
thing-
other problems?
Yeah.
What
is
else?
We had people spreading rumors that Chuck didn't support us, and we weren't a Calvary. I mean, the stuff people were saying, and we're like,
Crazy.
Chuck just gave us an affiliation that we didn't ask for.
And
He
buildings
gave
we
us
didn't ask
his
for.
attorney at whatever for free and no charge for using the hot springs, and it's like, how would he not
Oh.
be supportive?
And he gave us that attorney, Jeff Dorman, great
Yeah,
guy,
Great guy.
love him dearly, and he did helped with a lot of the incorporation and bylaw stuff and all the paperwork. I mean, Sally did all the legwork up front, but he came along and
I
really
couldn't have done it without him.
legitimized it from a lawyer standpoint.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you're
We
an
needed
attorney,
him.
so
He helped me become an attorney.
that's right.
That's pretty cool.
That's
true.
right.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without Jeff. We were lost.
That's
it
a good
was just
name.
me.
Which Jeff are you referring to?
Either, both.
Well, so Chuck gave us a couple buildings at the Hot
Yeah.
Springs, right? And we were like going big guns. Sunday services too. Monday night was the men's, the women's ministry. I mean, there was Wednesday night midweek service. I mean, it was a full-blown church right off the bat.
Wow.
Children's ministry. It was like going big guns. And then 6 months later, Pastor Chuck comes walking up to me. He goes, Clark, I've got good news. I go, yeah, what is it, Chuck? He says, we've got approval to bring the Bible College down from Twin Peaks up in Lake Arrowhead to the Bible College, to the Hot Springs here. I go, well, that's fantastic, Chuck. He goes, yeah, and I'm going to need those 2 buildings back. I
In
go,
4 weeks.
he goes, in 4 weeks. And I thought, okay.
Oh my
Oh, it was
goodness.
nice while it lasted.
And so it was so funny because we gathered everybody together, all the kind of the leadership of the church, and I shared with them, okay, we got 4 weeks. We got to find a place, right? And so everybody's out looking. We got a hold of realtors. Everybody's driving around. We're knocking on doors. We're nothing. And I mean,
Nothing.
not one door opened. And so when the 4 weeks started coming to an end, we all got together and said, okay, I guess we're done. And everyone said, okay. And one fella, he piped in, he goes, why don't we meet under the tree in the park?
And we're like,
And I was thinking, and the whole crowd erupted, yes, let's do that. I'm thinking,
we're like
what?
these people really are crazy.
They said, that's perfect. We'll meet under a tree. It's awesome. And I, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess.
So did you guys meet under a tree?
Never had
You know, we
to.
live in Temecula, right?
Yeah, you know.
It's like 100 out
Okay.
here in the summertime.
Oh.
Well,
So anyway,
we'd been driving all over.
Oh.
Like he would go to work, I'd take the kids to school, then I would just drive,
we would make
see
calls,
what I could find.
everything.
Nothing.
And one evening when I was driving home from work, I always got off at Rancho Road and came up Rancho Road and turned on Cali Contento. And God spoke to my heart. He said, keep driving. It was weird. And so I drove 1 block, just a few 100 feet up, and there was a sign. It said, for sale or lease. And I pulled into the driveway and I started crying. I thought, God just spoke to my heart. And he said, this is it.
Yeah.
I came home, I got Sally. I go, Sally, come.
Oh, I was cooking dinner. The boys were in the room doing their
You
homework.
got to come now.
I
Come
had
now.
to turn off the stove, and I said, I'll be right back, guys. And we went down there, and the minute we pulled on that parking lot, same thing. It was like the Spirit of God just came upon us both. We just started weeping. We're like, this is where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was
I
pretty
don't know
weird.
how, but this is where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so I called the phone number. There's a big sign out front that says for sale or lease. And so I called the phone number the next day.
Yeah.
And it was about the time you were getting off work because you were walking by the window when I was on the phone with that guy. And I told him we were interested in the building. He said, what do you want it for? It was just really gruff.
Oh yeah, he was a gruff dude.
And I said, a church? And he goes, nope, I don't like churches.
Oh no.
And I said, you don't like churches? What could you not like about churches? He goes, they're on TV and they ask for money. And I go, well, there you have it. My husband isn't on TV and he never asks for money. So we'll fit in just perfectly.
Yeah.
And he didn't know what to say. And I go, and I didn't either. So I said,
And I ran out of things to say.
well, my husband is just walking in. Hold on 1 second. I'm like, here.
Here. Oh,
So we decided to go out and we talked about it. We had saved $3,000. That's it. So from the time in our living room, people would just leave money all over the house. I'm like, you guys, please stop. Clark has a job. We don't need your money. So, but I felt such responsibility that I would take it and put it in an envelope, and we would journal what date the money came in and all, because I didn't know what to do with it. We finally opened a church account, and we were able to put it all in there. So we had $3,000. How much did they want for the purchase of the lease? Like 50 or
50 some odd thousand just to purchase the lease, and the property was $495,000.
Yeah. And so we
This was $96.
This was
Yeah.
$96.
So we were talking and we're like, we don't have the money. I go, doesn't Pastor Chuck teach us the venture of faith? Just take a step of faith.
Where
If
God
the-
guides.
He provides. So I said, what are they going to do? Laugh at us and say no? And he goes, all right, let's do it. So we went out and met with them. We offered them $3,000 for the purchase of the lease. We had no idea, but we offered $3,000 a month for rent that we didn't have. And we figured, well, we'll see what they say.
And they
So
laughed at us
They
and said
laughed.
no.
They laughed and said no. And we said, that's okay. We'll just give us a call if nobody else calls you, if you decide you want it. And
We got a call.
we got a call. They thought we were going to renege on it, though, I think.
And so we struck a deal. Sally negotiated with him. She struck the deal. And so we got the lease. We moved on to the property. Jeff, you were there cleaning the
Oh,
mice droppings
It
and
was a mess.
cobwebs, and
It's not child labor if it's volunteer.
it's not illegal if you volunteer. That's correct.
You guys did work.
Wait,
It
so
was
that moved pretty fast because it was in your living
Oh,
room
super fast.
for
Yeah, a
3
year later.
months.
One
a
year
year
later.
later.
Th-
3 months.
No, we were 3 months here, 3 months at the apartment, and 6 months at the hot springs.
And then straight to the
Boom,
church.
right over to the
Wow.
church. One
So
year
God
later, from the
used
living
you
room.
From the second.
It was pretty fast.
Wow.
Very fast.
Which was a fulfillment
Yes.
of Steve Schultz's prophecy over you, but that's a story for
That's
another
another story
time.
for another day. But
And you were 36, 38?
I was a young man.
38.
Yeah, I was just almost 40ish. Yeah, almost 40. So anyway, we get to the church. Everyone, we get it cleaned up. I mean, we worked so hard
Oh,
over
man,
there.
we were down there all
Had
the
the
time.
tractor. We were cleaning stuff up and working like crazy. And out in front where that little piece of grass is, there used to be grass there. Now it's wood chips. Sally would be out there mowing that grass.
Oh,
Now,
under the sign?
When you're driving down Rancho Road at 60 miles an hour, that doesn't look like very much grass.
No.
But when you're
a
on
lot
that
of
grass with
grass.
a
Push
lawnmower,
A push mower.
well,
It's a lot of grass.
It was a
Wasn't
gas
a
mower.
ride on.
No,
No,
it
it
was not a
definitely
ride
was
on.
not an easy mow.
You had to push it. That's
And it was
true.
on a hill.
But it was a
Yes.
gas powered one.
And
not
my
like a-
mower has it has a throttle.
They
right
didn't
on the
have
front.
self-propelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you've got a nice new one now. 30 years ago, not so much.
Before self-propelled blowers.
So we got it all fixed up, and we started meeting, and out of the blue, things started
It
showing
was
up at the church.
crazy.
People brought stuff.
Well, it
There was-
rained, and we had our first women's Bible study, and it had that old tin roof that you see at the media counter in the foyer now. That was the real roof, and that was all
No
it was.
paper, nothing, just holes.
And so we were in there doing Bible study with a little portable sound system, and it started pouring down rain, and everybody broke out their umbrellas inside the sanctuary
in the
because
building.
it was raining.
The
and-
sanctuary was a barn,
Yes.
by the way. Then.
So we just kept
clarify.
doing our Bible study, and I called him and said, "Clark, it's raining inside." He's like, "Yeah," because I always exaggerate. But he got there and he was like, "There's puddles in here. It was really raining."
Yeah.
But the next week, someone donated roofing material.
A truck showed up with roofing material. We put on a new roof. Couple weeks later, a semi truck showed up with air conditioning ducts and air conditioning units. And the owner, and then carpet, and you name it, it
Just-
started coming.
We didn't
And
even
the
ask.
owner was furious because he
Yeah.
thought we had all this money. He
thought we
and we were
lied.
buying all this stuff that we lied to him. We're going, no, we didn't buy any of this. It was all
He didn't believe
donated. He didn't believe us, but it was true.
That was pretty wild.
Air
That was a God
conditioning,
thing,
roofs,
big time.
you name it. Everything would just start showing up on trucks.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
Really? So
Yeah.
it's just like
Out of the blue, there was a air conditioning guy in Orange County. I don't know how he heard about us. Maybe through Chuck or who knows what.
I forget.
Big giant semi truck pulled onto the property. Hey, is this Calvary Chapel? Yeah. I got your air conditioning stuff. I said, what? And it was all the big air conditioning pipes
Yeah.
like we have in the sanctuary now and air conditioning units. It was like, unbelievable.
wow.
Venture of faith.
Venture of faith.
Take a step and see what God wants to do.
So we were there for, from 96.
Well, it
01.
got
to
so
02,
it got
too.
so crazy there that we had
Oh.
little TVs on portable carts,
Outside,
and we had
yes.
like
In
six
the
rows
of
of 'em.
them.
In the prayer garden.
And the
Yeah.
prayer garden out there, there was TVs,
TVs.
and the place was packed, and one bathroom. It was insane, really.
It was insane.
Yeah, But it was
People
fun.
remember people rode their horses to
Yeah.
church.
Yeah,
Yes,
that one
I do
Saturday.
remember that.
We got everything cleaned up.
Oh, and a
just
Saturday.
put everything away. And here came
A couple of horses.
horses to say hi. And they decided to just drop everything in the parking lot that we just cleaned up that we were getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
So he had to get the fire hose out again and get it all
Hose
cleaned
down all the
up.
horse droppings. But anyway,
Fun time.
Yes,
rode,
you are.
they rode their horses to church. It's very cool.
That is cool.
It rained. It was all dirt. No asphalt parking. It was all dirt. So I was always out on the tractor
Yeah.
smoothing things down for Sunday morning. Well, Saturday night it rained like crazy. After I fixed it all up, and I thought, oh no. So I got down there super early Sunday morning, like dark. I got on the tractor and I smoothed everything down, and it looked so good. And I was just all like covered in diesel fuel and tractor and
We
everything.
worked so hard.
And then just walked right up into the pulpit and started teaching. It was pretty
so
fun.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, there was one Sunday, we had a little telephone line, and there was only one little outlet, and it was on the stage at the pulpit,
That's right.
and we didn't think about it. And Sunday's teaching, and the phone started ringing.
So Clark goes,
Yeah, we're in service right now. The next one will be in an hour. It was so funny.
Hilarious.
It was so funny.
Really? That really happened? That's hilarious.
Too much.
And then the kids were upstairs. There was a loft thing upstairs, and the high schoolers met up there.
Yeah.
And one Sunday, it was my birthday, and all of a sudden, through the ductwork, they were singing "Happy Birthday" right in the middle of the service.
That was fun.
It was pretty fun.
That was very sweet.
Super good. Had a good
A
time.
lot of good memories.
Yeah.
The old barn.
You don't. You
That's
don't.
why the name comes from.
Yeah. And then in '02, we built what you see today. In
Okay.
2002.
But even then, God was still providing because the steel.
The steel,
A truck showed up with a whole bunch of steel that's holding the sanctuary, the big steel beams.
big, giant
Donated.
steel beams just showed up. Turned out
Overage.
they were from Pachanga.
Yeah, Pachanga, it was
Pachanga.
overage of material.
Wow.
They donated them to the church.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Just out of the blue.
It was nice when that building project started because it used to be on the side, but right behind where you would teach at the barn was that roll back gate with the bar on the
Yes.
ground.
Yes.
And people would always come late to church or early for the next service, and they'd go over that little barn and chunk chunk, and you could hear it inside. Oh, somebody's getting here late.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
And-
nice when the new building started. That
And
gate
remember
went
the
away.
little shed up on the hill?
Yeah.
And
Now that's the Potter's house
because it had the tin roof. I remember one family.
And that's where they threw clay pots.
Yeah, I
for the
remember,
nursery.
Yes, I remember one family came to church, and then the next week they came and they shared with us that they asked the kids because they were looking for a church. What church do you want to go to? And it was unanimous. All the kids goes, we want to go to that church with no roof because that was the children's ministry.
It was an old shed we turned into classrooms, and there was no roof on it.
They loved
And the
it.
kids loved it. It was all country and dirt, and they could run around and play. And
But to your point, yes, it was a potter's house. And that's why we call the high school or the room up there the potter's house.
Yeah.
Because they really did throw
now,
pottery.
not everybody had that attitude.
No.
One Sunday,
Oh, goodness, that was so funny. I was standing at the door passing out bulletins, and this lady that was real fancy comes walking up in her high heels, and she literally got to the threshold, and she went, "Oh, there's no carpet." And I just cracked up, and I go, "There are a lot of churches in town that have carpet."
we're not one of them.
We're not a fancy type of.
We're on concrete floors.
And the best part is anytime someone would want to use the church for a wedding or something, it was still an old barn, but they would ask if they could use it. It was your old friend, and they came, and we had been down there cleaning because Saturday he was working full time, and then on Saturdays we would go clean and get ready for Sunday, and we had been cleaning up, and he was cleaning the windows, and all these people start pulling in with their fancy cars on our dirt and gravel, and they were all ooh ooh, and they they turned to Clark, and you missed a spot over here, and
I get that a lot.
bossing him around like he's a janitor and stuff. And then we went up in the Potter's house and sat and laughed at him because it's like they don't even know.
I don't even know. That's so great.
That happened to me at a big church in L.A.
Yeah, and I remember
Big
that.
church in L.A. That was hilarious. Because I had to drive to L.A. to teach on their midweek service. And, you know, you got to leave early, traffic and everything. So I get there, you know, I'm an hour and a half early, and I'm there before anybody. And then the guys start showing up and unlocking. So, I mean, you know, that's a long drive. You got to go to the bathroom. So I rush inside. As soon as they unlocked, I rushed inside of the bathroom, started going to the bathroom, washed my hands, and I took some paper towel and started wiping down the sink a little bit because, you know, it was a little messy.
We're
And,
used to doing that.
and one of their ushers walked in and goes, "Hey, don't forget to empty the trash." I go, "Okay." So I started emptying trash. It was pretty funny. So I got all the trash emptied and got the place all cleaned up. He saw me over in the foyer emptying trash. He gave me the thumbs up, you know, like, okay. And then the service started, you know. After the music, they introduced me. I come walking up, and the guy sitting right there. He went, "Oh, unbelievable."
So funny.
It was pretty funny.
It's funny to hear the start of the names and those kind of things. The barn, the Potter's house.
Yeah.
Do you remember the story as to why you have donuts at the church? It's been so long. I don't know if you remember it.
Well,
it's-
here at the house,
No, it started before then. You and Jeff.
oh, Jeff was the donut monster. That's right.
Yeah, we would.
Every Sunday morning.
Yeah, because I would wake up early and my brother would not.
No.
Nor would
Brad and
my
I
mother.
did
Nor
not
would
sleep.
Mom.
Yeah, we slept in. You guys were the early birds.
So like my eyelids are open, so it's time to start going.
Yeah.
So I'd go
Still.
or before first service with you to the church that we would go to.
Yeah.
And we'd always stop at Pam's Donuts right there and
Still
we'd get
there
a cup
today.
of coffee and put a bunch of creamers and stuff in it, and then we'd get our donuts.
I like the creamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was always got the donuts.
Yeah,
That's right.
And we would hang out for a
Fold
bit,
bulletins.
and then we'd go to church and we'd do the bulletins and the song
fold
sheets and
bulletins, song sheets,
clean the
yeah.
bathrooms and
That's
stuff.
right.
And then
I remember that.
when the church CCBF started, that kind of
Carried
went
on.
away. So you found the donut shop right there off of Marietta Hot Springs and started getting a dozen and just. Tell you what, Jeff, we'll just bring a whole dozen and you can eat it at church because I got to get there. We got to start cleaning. We're the ones responsible for it now. So I got to get there and I got a lot more to do. So and then everybody else that would get there early would start taking some donuts too. And then
And it wasn't a big deal. A couple dozen donuts. I mean, not a big deal.
now it's 600 dozen.
Yeah, no, I think it's like 90 dozen
Yeah.
or something crazy.
But people love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still.
Well, there's a
love the
really
donut.
nice family that owns the donut shop. They come to the
Pastor
church.
Tom
Sweet
introduced
people.
us to the hole-in-one.
Yeah,
That's
hole
what
in
it
one.
is.
And
Yeah.
they were giving me donuts when I was teaching at the Bible college. I was there 20 years. So they were like giving me donuts for the kids too. I'm going, okay, cool, thanks.
And
That's
it turns
awesome.
out they're the best donuts in town.
They really are.
Because they aren't cooking other things with their donuts later. It's just a donut shop.
Yeah,
so
they do
they're
a
the
great job.
best donuts.
Sweet people. They've been coming to the church for years and years and
They're
years.
good donuts.
Great people.
And is that still the same shop? They're off
Yeah.
Marietta Hot Springs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same exact shop.
Hole-in-one donuts.
I know a lot of families that go for the donuts,
Yeah.
especially when they have all the kids.
It's the
like
donut
Well,
church.
it's getting the kids out, and it's like getting everybody more like. I mean, just
Yeah.
like Jeff, he loved the donuts, and that was a
Yeah.
good experience.
I think you can tell I love the donuts.
Well, and it was the
it's
same
so
when it
good.
rolled into the house. I would make brownies or I would have
We'd always have
something with
something.
coffee
For
and
fellowship.
something sweet.
Yeah.
And so when we started at the church and it went out, we caught a little flack because there were, some people said, this is a waste of money. There's too many people now. It's all relative.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more people, so you get more. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And so it's something that we never wanted to stop doing because it really is a good connection, gives people an excuse to fellowship.
In fact, when
Stick
I
around.
designed the church, I designed it with the building down closer to the street and then the slope up to the parking lot. And everyone's going, no, put the church up high, and I go, no. I want it to be easy to get to church. It's all downhill coming to church.
Yeah.
It's easy to get to the church. But if you want to leave, you got to work at it. You got to work
Gotta
it.
walk
in.
off that
You have
donut.
to feel the burn and leaving
gotta-
up that
you gotta
hill.
feel the burn
Feel
going
the
up that
burn. Oh, that burn. Yep.
Yeah. So
Well,
it
it's in
it
a good
incentivizes people to hang out and fellowship more. Because soon as every church we've ever been to,
Always
almost except for
bothered him.
Costa Mesa Calvary, you walk out into a beautiful courtyarded area. But every church we've ever been to, speaking at or whatever, soon as you walk out of the foyer, there's
In
a
the parking
sidewalk
lot.
and a parking lot.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like,
the
go home,
message is
go
go.
home.
That's true. That's true.
So we didn't want that. So when you walk out of the church, out of the barn, you walk into an amphitheater area,
Yeah.
grassy area. There's coffee and
Kids are
donuts. It's like kids are playing. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want to leave.
Right.
I want
You're
to
home.
hang.
And you get to talk about the message and what it did for you that
It's
day.
conducive
Yeah.
for fellowship.
Yes.
And because it's not just about coming and gaining head knowledge, it's about sharpening one another and
Right.
talking about the message that they
Was
just
that
heard.
Proverbs 27:17, is
Iron
it?
sharpens iron.
Iron sharpening
as Men.
And
That's
that and
account-
and that's kind of how you landed on the name, right? Calvary Chapel, obvious because of the affiliation with Chuck, and then the Bible Fellowship. In that order, it's about the Bible, and it's about fellowship
Good point.
that's related to the Bible.
That's
Good
why
point.
we did come up with it.
yeah.
I remember that conversation with you guys. Well, what would we even call it?
Yeah.
There's already a Calvary Chapel Temecula.
Right.
It's not wine country. We don't have wine in the name. What are we even going to call it?
Well, we didn't want to say, like the city type thing, like we own the city. It's like we're just here. A church pops up across the street, let them pop up across the street. Can't have too many churches.
That's right.
Right.
You need more churches.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to have like ownership on a place. Just the Bible Fellowship. We just wanted to
So
keep it
everything
simple.
you see we built in 2002 basically, and then it's 2025 right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, it helped. It was very perfect during COVID because you were able to have
outdoor services.
Outdoor services.
And we had the drive-in services.
that was
was
so
cool.
fun.
was
on
fun
the
for the
upper
time
part
that we
of the
did
property,
it.
because when COVID hit, everybody went crazy, locked down. The government said, no, everybody's got to stay home. Like,
Well,
yeah.
especially with churches, you couldn't go to church.
Too bad we didn't have the pavement up there then. We could have been on roller skates with trays.
Well, what happened?
donuts.
Yeah, what happened?
What happened was, we have the radio station,
Yes.
So
Which
we-
is it's
we-
96.
96.9.
Nine.
Yeah,
FM.
yeah. KPTL. K
Praise
the
the
Lord.
Lord.
Yeah, KPTL. And so we've got the radio station, and we set up the stage up there. So the band and myself were up on the stage outdoors, and everybody else drove in and parked and tuned in on the radio.
Yeah.
And Sally had the women's ministry with gloves and masks,
Yeah, so dumb,
delivering
but
little
was so
little
good.
paper bags of donuts
Yes.
to every car, and they loved it.
Everybody
fun.
loved it.
They
It was
loved
The best
it.
part is when someone would get a donut and go, "Oh, can I have an old fashioned instead?"
yeah.
You get
Just
what you
take
get,
what
don't
you
throw a fit.
Well, and it was out of that
So
that
cute.
the whole ministry was born. The hospitality ministry
Yes.
was born out
Yes.
of that.
Huge
Yes,
birth.
and when we were in Israel one year, I saw the donut cart. The cart
Yes.
was at the
Is
Dead
it
Sea,
one of the
at the Dead Sea Hotel.
Harrods.
And I looked at that and I thought, oh,
said, "Clark,
that
Clark."
would be perfect for donuts. So I took a picture, sent it home, and they built it.
And,
And then we
because
put
of
the
his
glass over
contracting
it.
extraordinaire mind,
Yes.
he sees a picture and goes, "Yeah, I
could
could
do
do that."
So it worked out really good
Yeah.
because then now there's the sneeze guard and it opened up a whole new ministry.
That was another
the
aspect of
hospitality of serving and welcoming people and making a connection rather than just going to a table and picking up a
Well,
donut.
we had
It's
the
nice.
donuts out on tables like random, willy-nilly, and people would grab it, take a bite, no,
No,
put it back.
no, not
kids
now.
would
Kids.
sneeze on them.
Kids.
Runny noses, picking it up and licking it. I would be standing there going, I can't watch this.
No.
So we really like the donut counter now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So
a very
something
good
good came from
progression.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing that came from COVID. That's just
But
good.
everything, we've been there, and everything's a real blessing. We were able to buy the property next door.
That's right. Yeah, behind.
Yeah, but at the other side, at the back 40 of the church, we were able to buy that entire piece of property. That was probably 8 or 9 years ago. And now together the property's 30 acres total. So it's really a great piece. And we went through a lawsuit with that. The wineries and the county sued us. And
What a
because-
mess.
Well, turns out, after we got our permit to build what you see today, the county of Riverside and the wineries got together and they wrote a new law outlawing churches, making it illegal to build churches in 2,200 in the 2,200 acres of the wine country. Illegal. So when we bought the property next door, we thought, oh, we're going to expand, and
Like the plans drawn out.
we drew up plans and started going to the county, and they started the process, and they said, and finally they said, oh wait, it's illegal to build churches out there. We said, what? How can that be?
Yeah.
So we had to take them to court, and we were, I think it was almost a 7-8 year battle,
Yeah.
and we ended up going
That's
to
why
the
we have-
Ninth Circuit. Jeff, you were
I went up there, yeah.
you were there at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal at one of those hearings with Bob Tyler and them.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why we have gray
Advocates
hair.
for faith and
Advocates
freedom.
for Faith and Freedom.
We didn't have gray hair when it started.
No, I was thick and brown.
Yeah.
So I remember we lived out here during that time, and I remember we had family members that were involved with the wineries, and they were sending out petitions to sign against you guys.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
remember when it came across me, I said, "Oh no, I don't want to be anywhere struck down because my name's on some paper." And look at me now. It's a good thing I did.
Now you can say you didn't sign it.
I know. Isn't that crazy? So like all the wineries were genuinely going after you
Well,
guys.
it wasn't
Big
just
time.
the Vintners Association. It was the tourism,
Yeah.
the buses, the jeeps, the hot
county
air
of
balloons.
Riverside, all of
Everybody
them.
was against us.
Everybody.
It was
The
definitely
only
a
one,
David
from
versus
what I remember,
Goliath.
the only one was Jim Carter.
Jim
yes.
Carter.
He didn't
Yeah.
care.
South
No,
Coast
in fact,
Winery.
he thought they were
Nice
stupid
man.
for doing it. He goes, man, if I owned a winery next door to a church, I'd be over there every Sunday handing out discount lunch
Coupons,
coupons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go,
Jim Carter
yeah,
was really
he's
very good to
businessman.
us.
Didn't he invite you to film something,
Yeah.
a prophecy update
Yeah.
through his vineyards one time?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were able to use that.
I was able to use
It's
that.
on the
in fact,
webpage.
in fact, we have a reciprocal agreement because he owns the property right across from us,
Right.
Our new property.
or from the new property, and we have a reciprocal agreement for parking.
Ah.
Oh.
So
if
we
he
were to
needs
ever
our
put it
overflow
in-
parking, he can use it. If we need his, we can use it. As long as there's no conflict, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it. Was a beautiful letter, great guy,
So-
super sharp businessman
just
Yeah.
willing to
One
work.
guy
Yeah.
in the whole
Wine
valley.
country.
in the
That-
whole Southern California.
Well,
Yeah.
and you guys were here before a lot of the wineries were even
Before
out
Oh, yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We were out here in 1989.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember going to one of the hearings early on up at downtown Riverside.
Yes.
And the county was trying to say something along the lines of it's dangerous because churches are by law allowed to have a church-based, faith-based school along with it. And they were trying to say this argument, no, you can't have a school there, which means you can't have a church there because it's in the middle of the wine country and they spray pesticides on all of the vineyards
Unbelievable.
and it's dangerous. You can't expose children to that. And then you got up there and said, well, I've lived in wine country for 20 years at this point, and my kids have grown up there. This is the first I'm hearing it's dangerous. Should we be tested? Is this a class action
we sue
hearing?
you?
What is going on? And they said, no, we withdraw that statement, Your Honor.
And then I remember that. And then as I turned to the whole city council, all the city councilmen,
The
and I
County
go,
Board of Supervisors.
County Board of Supervisors, that's right, Jeff. I said, and yeah, after saying that, I go, and I've suffered no ill effects XXX at all.
I do remember that, yeah.
Remember that?
And they all started roaring
They thought
laughing.
that was the funniest
And
thing.
then county council said, we withdraw that.
It was funny. No effects
It's
XXX at all.
a crazy argument.
Yeah,
It's
not Your Honor. It
unbelievable.
was whatever the title is for
So
County Board of
County
Supervisors.
Council, Board of
Their
Su-
other
supervisor.
argument
We withdraw
was
that, Supervisor.
church people were going to contaminate the groundwater because of the bathrums.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 'cause
the winery
residences
people
don't.
wouldn't, or
Because
residents
church
wouldn't.
people are
Only
very
Why
Christians.
don't?
only the churches that have kids peeing on trees.
Oh my.
I go, we have one congregant that might contaminate the groundwater.
He's a lot older now.
Well, we still don't know. He's the last
I think
guy.
I got him trained.
Ish.
Some of the stuff they came up with was so out of left field. It was like, you
Yeah.
can't be serious.
So, everything has been going really, really well. praise the Lord.
Yeah.
So what's
you
next?
guys, well, before we get to what's next, you guys usually go to Israel. What started that?
Well, many years ago, I think it was 89
No,
or
98.
98.
It was
98.
was our
We,
first trip.
our first trip with Pastor Chuck.
So 2 years after the church was built.
Yes.
Okay.
After the
So-
church started at the hot springs, just
96,
moved over to
98,
the
yeah.
to
Yeah.
the.
We went with Pastor Chuck to Israel, and then we went again with Pastor Chuck to Israel a second time.
But we took people with us with our own bus. The
Yeah,
second
but we
time.
took people with us, but we were with Pastor Chuck tagging along. And so our 2 trips to Israel really helped us to get a good feel for what's going on and how to do the trips. And we started going.
Yeah, you were taking the ministry and training, the MIT group
As
of
well as
men.
pastors.
Yeah, pastors and the guys that were training to be pastors. You would take them and take a church group in the same year.
Yeah, I would go twice a
You
year to
would go
Israel.
twice a year. I went once a year, and then the one time I took the women,
Yeah.
I stayed and did 2 trips. Yeah.
So we've been going. I've
going a
been
long
to Israel
time.
25 times.
Wow.
Yeah, you had to
Since-
take a couple years off for COVID.
Yep, took a couple years
Our
off
last
for COVID.
trip was actually 2020, and COVID totally closed everything down the week we came home.
If somebody can't make it, the videos from when you went, I think in 05, are on the website.
Those are on the website, but we also have the virtual tour, which has really good aerial views. And when Ronnie, our tour guide, he's the archaeologist that comes out, and then we go through every single site
at the
with-
church.
At
Yeah.
the church. That was so fun.
So
That's
good.
a fun
Now-
day. No jet
Now
lag.
that the technology has improved, your experiences, your familiarity with the people, the land, the material, are you going to redo the videos in 27?
You know what? I would have probably done that 5 or 8 years ago. I don't know if I'd do it today. I'm getting old, Jeff.
Well, you're supposed to race up this mountain with me, supposedly.
I think someone else should be getting ready to do all that.
I think maybe you should co-teach with him.
As you know, I have no problem putting people to sleep.
I do it every Sunday.
I remember on that note, it's a little unfair to expect me to stay awake at least early on in your messages, because again, it was story time, bedtime. You would read to us and put us to sleep as kids. I remember when the Bible study was here on Friday night, long day at school, running around in the dirt, making, playing in the mud and all that. And then we'd get inside and get set up for the Bible study. You had this over on that side of the room, you had this nice sheepskin rug from, I think, like
Yep.
your cousin in Australia.
Yep,
Remember that?
And
it was from Mick.
and I would lay down on that with a nice little blanket. It was
It's
right
nice
by the
and
AC
warm.
vent. So it was like that perfect juxtaposition of cold air, but cozy, cuddly. And then you'd be talking.
As soon as you heard my voice, like, whoosh,
Yeah, as soon as the music stopped and you started talking, I was out.
that's funny.
And next thing I knew, everybody was gone.
Eating brownies.
Yeah, no, all the brownies were gone. Nobody thought to wake me up, offer me a brownie. I just saw the crumbs and everybody was leaving.
Oh, so
That's
peaceful.
funny. That's funny.
It's not fair.
Now I know why you sleep every Sunday
Yeah.
on service.
Or why he's so tired
just
after
kidding.
Sunday.
That's why I got to
him.
sit up
Tired.
front.
That's why I make him sit up front now. Like, you better get over
That's
there.
funny.
Up front with the notepad.
That's good.
But
That's good.
Jeff asked you guys what's next.
Oh yeah, what's next now? So we got
Well, I'm going to get old and die.
Oh, don't say that.
I don't know what she's got going on.
You're not going anywhere.
No.
Well, you know,
We'll
I
prop you up.
it'd be like the when it was just put some puppet strings on them.
I'm not going to let you die. Come on, Clark. Come on.
I feel good. Everything's going well. But you know what? We've always been trying to raise up. Forever, we've always taught everyone at the church, raise people up to replace you.
Yeah.
Disciple them, raise them up so they can replace you. And that's really been, the church is going good. They really don't need me down there necessarily. I do the teaching on Sunday and Wednesday, but other than that, everything's pretty well taken care of. And so I don't know. We'll see. I remember when I wanted to do the commentary. Sally encouraged me to write commentaries on the books of the Bible.
Yeah.
And that was good. I did the first one in Matthew, and it took a whole year. And Sally, I remember her saying, you know, Clark, there's 66 books in the Bible, and I'm pretty sure you don't have that long.
It was the Book of Acts.
It was the book of Acts, that's right. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you know, we're gonna fly out and go speak at a conference back east, and we'd like to go visit some of the missionaries and church plants a little more than we have in the last 10 years because we've been so busy at the church. And Sally speaks quite a bit at different conferences and writing books and whatnot. And so
It's
we'll
fun.
see. Who knows?
We're just still having fun.
Yeah, still just teaching
Yeah.
the word and seeing
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
God guides.
Well, and then you've been so helpful. Like you raised your boys, and then you've been helpful in helping raise our kids and
Grandkids,
like
grandkids,
giving
yeah.
us, showing up to games and being involved in all that
The
stuff.
kids are
So
the best.
You guys have been
That's fun.
really fun and amazing grandparents for them to have around and watch them grow. I mean, you guys have a 22 all the way to an 8-year-old grandkids. So, I mean,
Well, you know, grandkids. If I would have known
Here it
grandkids,
comes.
if I would have known grandkids were so wonderful, I'd have had them instead of kids.
yeah, the
You
kids,
know that's not true.
the
That's
kids
not
are the roughest part when you're going through
I
it.
know. Well, Sally says grandkids are God's blessing for us not killing our kids.
I like that. I
That's a
really
little
like
more
that.
true.
Oh man, it was so fun with you guys out here in
it
the
was
country.
fun with the
though.
two boys out in the country.
I'll never forget you
we
guys.
were riding quads and shooting
Yeah.
guns and having a great time.
Yeah, one time I was in the house doing laundry, and you and Brad had been outside, and I didn't think there was anything that you could do to hurt yourself or anything because all of Dad's stuff was locked up, and you were out just exploring. And you come in the house, Mom, come and look at the burglar alarm we made. And I was like, okay, I'll be there in a minute. I'm rotating the laundry. Just wait a minute. And Mom, come out. And finally I'm like, okay, what's going on? And you had built that fort,
Big treehouse fort.
big
thing, yeah.
treehouse fort. And so there was a ladder that you had to go up. And they were like, climb up the ladder, Mom, climb up the ladder. So I start climbing up the ladder, and they said, okay, right there. They had it rigged up to where if you hit the rope a certain way, it released, I don't even know how they did it. It released this hatchet that came and would swing and hit you right between the eyes.
My
That was
goodness.
the burglar
I
alarm.
sent you up there.
Try it, Mom. Try it.
Oh my goodness.
Boys. I'm like, where did you get this hatchet? And Jeff's like, Dad's toolbox was unlocked.
Oh no.
Like, I can't have the toolbox be unlocked
That's why you
anymore.
have two granddaughters that like
Yeah.
getting their nails done,
Yeah.
like all the makeup.
I know,
They're
poor
making up for
Sally.
it.
Poor Sally. We had two boys, two boy dogs, myself.
Construction crew.
She was the only girl on site, you know.
Barry and Buddy and
Yeah.
Bruce and all the bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor
That was
thing.
funny.
Poor thing.
It was fun.
The granddaughters are good for you now.
I did love the boys though. They were so fun.
Yeah, we had a good
So
time.
fun. I don't think I missed a football game to drive in that big excursion.
Yeah.
And the band.
The
we
bands at every concert, every
yeah.
band thing.
Knott's Berry Farm Band. And
I remember
just
we drove down
everywhere.
to, how was it, Escondido? You guys recorded a CD
Oh yeah,
in that
Bedrock Studios.
Bedrock Studios, yeah. Killer CDs. You guys did a great job.
They were so young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super good.
Yeah, we were young.
So for us next, who knows?
God knows.
Yeah, you know, it's one day at a time. I've never really planned anything out necessarily.
Doesn't seem like it. No.
I've just been like,
There's
Thrust
no reason
upon
to
you.
Catch it
plan
up.
it. It'll just disappoint you if you plan it. So you might as well just go with the flow.
You know, I plan ahead far as emergencies.
Right.
You know, we've got food, water, we've got a bank account. You know, I mean, we plan ahead for emergencies. You know, the government says you should have 3 days of food. I think 3 months would probably be better, just in case. So I don't know. What's next for you two?
I mean,
Just plugging along and see where God.
yeah. Same.
Send us.
Well, both of you have been prepared and stretched and
Yeah,
You guys have been through a lot in your
Yeah.
short life.
Yes.
a lot.
that's true.
I mean, a couple careers, been a cop for 10 years, been an attorney for how many years now?
A little more than 5 now.
About 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put yourself through school,
Yeah.
paid your own way. Very impressive, yeah.
Yeah. Right now we just got all the kids that we're still getting through and
Yeah.
getting more involved in the church and seeing where we could just peek our heads into little things that need help. So we're
Yeah,
there.
which has been a lot of fun for us.
Yeah.
Getting more involved, doing the usher stuff and just being around more at the men's ministry and being around during the week with all the different corporate stuff that's going on and
Yeah.
being able to help out on the legal side with HR stuff. And because a lot of people forget that, yeah, it's a church, but it is a corporation as defined in the California Corporations Code, section 9134 or whatever, and so on and so forth. So it still is a legal entity
Right.
Yeah.
that has to comply with certain legal aspects of the government.
Not just governmental, but you've got the insurance companies, and I mean, it's endless. It's
Yeah.
endless. I mean, especially here in California, it's
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah, and you still have to tread carefully because you still are dealing with the IRS with the tax status.
Yes, that's right.
So you can't get carried away in certain areas
That's
or
right.
else you lose the tax status. And
Well, it's been a real blessing having both of you guys come on board and help out with not only your police background with security and putting things in place and policies and procedures, but the legal background as well, helping out with a lot of the corporate stuff, and
Yeah.
that's been very cool.
Yeah.
So God's been preparing both of you for
Yeah.
It's been fun
such a
seeing.
time as this, you
Yeah.
know.
It's been
Yeah.
fun seeing the kids serve too. They're
Yeah.
so cute.
Oh,
That's
helping
a
out in
blessing.
Sunday school so much. I
Yeah.
know
Archie.
Pastor Archie, he just loves to have Cohen help out and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
been
he's 12 now, so I
He's
mean, he's
12.
like a big
Yeah,
dude.
it's
a big
time to
dude
help
now.
out.
Well, it's been fun too. Like for me, like I came into a well-oiled machine with you guys. Already have it
Yeah,
all
that's true.
situated by the time I became part of this family. So it's been fun peeking in and like helping out where I can.
You know what? We've got a great church.
We do.
Super good
People are
people.
so
Yeah.
good. They're
Sweet
it's
and
just such a
welcoming
blessing.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Taking
is.
care of everybody.
We are
It's a really
blessed.
good
We're
family
super fun.
feel.
Yeah.
Super
Well, and
fun.
it's a good teaching church
Yeah.
too. And I think because you
Grandma's a good teacher.
are highly academically trained and degreed and pedigreed. Is that right?
That is correct. I was cum laude. What's it called?
magna cum laude
It's been so long I forgot.
from Conn College, is it?
I was magna cum laude at HUK.
Huntington Correctional Center.
Or UHK. UHK. I forgot my alma mater.
University of Hard Knocks.
That's correct. UHK. I forgot
I
my
thought it
alma
was the
mater.
correctional center.
Well, there was the
That
correctional
too.
center, but
That
no,
you
this-
weren't magna cum laude, you were just
No.
summa cum laude.
I was summa cum laude. So yeah, University of Hard Knocks, unfortunately. But
But you
it was
graduated
good.
high school,
I
kinda.
I did.
You were diplomaed.
I was diplomaed. They did not want me. Look, I enjoyed all 6 years of high school. Okay,
They said enough's enough. We'll
Enough,
give you this
enough.
paper, just don't come back.
kick this guy out.
And then you surfed around for a while
Yeah.
and did construction stuff,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Had a good time. It's been
So-
a blessing. Good life.
and you
Brought you to Sally.
had some college. You got a professional license doing.
I went to Orange Coast College for a semester.
That's more than I did.
I
She was a college girl.
liked going, but I ended up working 4 jobs at the same time, and I was getting paid and learning more at work than I was at school. I just didn't see the
Yeah.
benefit for me.
But she became a licensed esthetician.
and then I
That's
became
what-
an
yes.
esthetician.
Yeah.
I
Doing
went
hair
to
and
work
makeup
in
and-
just makeup and facials,
Okay.
and I had a job in
Corona Del Mar
Corona Del Mar at Fernleaf Courtyard.
at Kitty's
At,
shop.
Yeah, with next door to Pilar Wayne's shop. She had a boutique. And
John
so,
Wayne's wife.
yeah, his latest wife, and she would do fashion shows, celebrity fashion shows, and I got to do makeup. Sometimes I got to model in them, and with my friends, and Clark was the escort for the models at one of them at John Wayne's house.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. And then I went to work at Avco Financial Services back in Fashion Island on the corporate floor, which was really good because
She
I was
was
able
smart.
to use my brain for going from makeup to being able to do something. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you're
think she still is smart.
Not really.
Well, I would say
No,
that
she is, she
you're
is.
you do Bible studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great teacher.
Yes, great teacher.
Anyway.
Well, I guess that's where I was going with it. You guys don't have a teaching background.
No, we
No,
don't. We're not educated in this.
It was
at
just
all.
something that God,
We love.
the Spirit has gifted you with this.
Yes.
This is truly
In fact, Sally was studying inductive.
Oh, so funny because before the home Bible study even started, I was just doing. You guys were in school all day, so I went and enrolled in precepts with Kay Arthur, and I was so excited to learn how to study the Bible and make my own commentary out of what I studied because that's inductive.
Yeah.
And so there's a method, and she teaches it a certain way. And so she would have conferences. And I was so excited. I came home and I told Clark, you've got to go to this conference. It's how to study your Bible.
Inductive Bible study.
And he was just kind of like going, okay. So we get down to the conference center and he's sitting there and I'm like, isn't that amazing? And he was like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. Come to find out, God just showed him how to do that. He
It's
didn't.
weird. It just
I'm like, how
happened.
did you know how to do that?
How do you
He's
not?
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
How
Well, even
do you
your
not?
outlines, his outlines.
His outlines are impeccable. I mean,
I didn't know there was
amazing.
such a thing. I just thought this is
That's how you do it.
this is how I do it. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's how I do it.
So it was
That's
a
how you
big
do it.
waste of time for him to go down there, but I was in awe at how God showed him.
Yeah.
It was
He didn't
fun.
need anybody to tell him how to do that. I did, but.
But your Bible studies are very in depth. Where
Oh, yeah.
we
Well, we
the
try
women
to.
that do it, they get a lot out of it.
I try to get it so that there's cross-referencing, so people handle the Word of God.
Yeah.
That they have to look up a cross-reference that's in the context of what they're studying, and sometimes people view it as, oh, it's so much work. But you get out of it what you put into it, and the more you handle the Word of God, the more it becomes of who you are.
Yeah.
And so that's why the studies are written the way they are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the homework aspect and the in-depth nature of the studying.
Well, you are very smart and organized and logical and systematic. I mean, that's how your
keep
brain
going,
works.
keep going.
oh no,
You
stop!
sure really?
Don't stop there.
But your brain works that way. It always has.
Yeah, I
Since you were
think
little
like a
boy.
lawyer is
Yeah.
what they say.
Since you were a little
Which
kid.
isn't
You were
always a
too.
nice thing.
Since you were
Yeah.
two.
Sure too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because so like you said, my brain works different.
Oh, it does.
Let me tell you, different. But so I've taught at law school, and I've taught hundreds of cops the computer forensic stuff, and I've taught these different courses to attorneys and to non-attorneys, and Sarah, you've taught CPR, you've taught because she's a respiratory therapist
Right.
and worked in that field and did medical research and stuff, and you've taught.
And
Yeah.
you're both
Publicly.
pretty smart kids.
So you guys
Yeah.
are educated.
Yeah.
Educated.
And it was,
Yeah.
I remember in one of my college classes, the same kind of experience that you had talking with Dad about, hey, this is the way. He's like, yeah, that's how I do it. Went through whatever communications advanced teaching class or something, and it was like, this is how you do adult learning and this. And I was like, oh, hey, Dad, where did you learn how to teach? Because this is like textbook.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't. People learn how to teach. I don't know.
Well, I think that's why kids, like college age kids, really do gravitate to your studies too. It's because it is easy to follow along with your outline, where it's like, oh, okay, yep, we got how many points?
Can
Okay,
take
cool.
notes.
Let's do.
Yeah.
It's very easy to follow along.
Yeah, and you're not
But-
just rambling.
Yeah.
The
I-
points are relevant, and it's the expository. It's all connected. It proves itself.
keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is nice.
And that's
Keep
what
moving.
that's what we remember.
And you don't get lost.
Pastor Chuck, verse by verse, line upon line, precept upon precept. Not, I'm going to teach this book this month, and
Right.
I'm going to teach it verse by verse. So now I'm a verse by verse teacher. Yet you're jumping all over the Bible. That's not verse by verse.
Well, and I
Genesis to
Yeah.
Revelation, verse by verse, book by book.
And we do the
it's
Old Testament
awesome.
on Wednesdays and the New Testament on Sundays,
Correct.
right?
Get the whole counsel all week.
Yeah.
I might be biased, but I mean, I like
Now-
it.
I
now-
like it
Now
too.
you guys have started a companion series podcast
Yeah.
reviewing Sunday's messages. Is that correct?
Well, you ask as though you didn't know, but it was authorized. I promise. We got permission.
I don't know from whom, but
Maybe he is getting old. He doesn't remember. Yeah. Yeah, so the companion series, I think we're 10 or 11 episodes in.
Yeah.
It's going well.
and yeah,
Sally was
it's a
on the
lot
last
of good.
one.
Yeah. I'm
She
glad
was,
you're
yeah.
back, Sarah.
Yeah, me too. Not that it was bad having you there.
Oh,
It was a lot of fun.
it was a blessing. It was really
So
a
every
blessing.
Sunday, you guys go over the message and kind of reiterate or talk about it and bring up other points and other applications and things,
Well,
personal life stuff and
For
all
me, it's hard because coming into your guys' family, it's you guys are so knowledgeable in the Bible, where it's been fun to learn and grow. And me thinking like, oh yeah, I'm really into it. I really know. And then going to Sunday or Wednesday, I'm like, okay, I thought I knew that, or I thought I was there. So we would go home and ask Jeff.
I do that every week. Don't worry.
Okay, good. So this is great.
We're always
Yeah.
learning.
So I'd go home and ask Jeff, and I was like, I don't understand. Why was this said, or why did this get brought up? This doesn't make sense. Why, just going down those rabbit holes. And then I said, you should teach people how to do that, how to have this conversation or look deeper into it. Because Sally does a good job on the women's Bible study, which I attend, and diving into all these other verses. And then you go so fast sometimes for me, where I'm like, I missed that verse. I don't know. So we've been going through it that way, and he's been helping me grow.
That's great.
And having our own fellowship at home.
It's super
Yeah,
good.
yeah, and that was kind of the genesis of the podcast thing. Was kind of similar to what you were talking about for the church in general. Was just something we were doing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we kind of felt called to do something more with it. But our schedule, the kids and
Yeah.
they're
Kids,
in all the
work.
different things, and the
I
work
know.
stuff is all weird with the scheduling. I'm in court till 6:00 randomly down
Yeah.
in San Diego at El Cajon or something, and I don't make it back in time, so we can't have a consistent night for Bible study
Right.
Right.
and all that, because I'm not the boss
Been
like
there,
you
done
were.
that.
Yeah.
Because you were the boss at the construction stuff.
Which means I had to work twice as long and twice
Yeah.
as hard.
And
But
then-
you could also show up a little earlier and leave when you needed to leave sometimes.
Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have that same thing.
Yeah.
I'm at the
You're
judge's
the
discretion.
judge's-
Yeah. And then with the kids being involved with everything, I
Oh,
feel
wow.
like can't make it to all the home fellowships or anything
Because
like that.
Colin
Just
and
get
Ren
'em
did the
in
jujitsu with
music.
you and,
Yeah.
and all that, so they're rolling around at the gym
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So yeah, so it worked out ideal with technology being as it is, and there was no ministry of the podcast through the church.
No, there hasn't been.
Yeah, some people that go to the church and work at the church
Uh-huh.
have podcasts,
Sure.
and they do a great job with
Yeah,
it. But
they
it's
do.
not.
The companion
For the
series
church.
for the Sundays.
Yeah, it's their own thing, and we
Right.
talked with them beforehand and made sure it
that's
was
great.
their own thing, and
Yeah.
it wasn't a church thing. It wasn't like a Bible study for the church. So,
Oh,
Right.
good.
so
Yes.
it
So we have the companion series, and then we're working on hopefully more of this kind of stuff where we could have conversations with other pastors and
Yeah.
other leaders.
That's good.
And then
And then the
we'll-
council series, which is going to be more kind of instructional, slightly more lecture based, but still kind of that podcasty format. Things like how to study the Bible, how to do inductive, deductive precepts, that kind of thing, and the Mom's Name of God series that she did during COVID, but in one session.
Yeah.
So that way, if people are listening to the podcast while they're doing laundry or yard work or whatever, they don't have to pull out their phone and hit next every time, or no, that's not the next one in order. This one, they don't have to build a queue. It's just one thing. So kind of do something like that. Have you on or other people on for those kind of things, and have
That
it be
sounds
pretty
good.
loose. And
Well, we should probably pray for these two, huh?
Yeah.
Let's
Since
do
we
that.
already told them everything that we know and then some.
Now that I told you more than I know.
well, we'll pray offline, right? Or do we want to
Oh,
pray?
well, I'm going to pray for you online.
Yeah.
They want to pray with us.
All right. Well, join us in prayer if you're still listening.
Father, I just thank you for Jeff and Sarah. Lord, I just thank you for the love they have for you, for each other, for their family, for us, for your church. And Lord, I just pray you continue to fill them with your spirit, encourage, empower, use them in a mighty way as our grandkids, as their kids grow and mature. And Lord, just do a great and mighty work in their hearts, Lord, and use them mightily in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us out.
Thank you.
Actually, I'm not out. I'm at home. But
Thanks for letting us in.
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Well, we'll let you get out of our hair.
Yeah. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here any longer.
Love you guys. Thank
Love
you.
you guys so
All right,
much.
love you too.
God bless.
All right.